It did. You sent me a link of nothing the first time.
Man, it happens, you know. Sometimes you gotta send somebody a link of nothing, and it might actually work.
So what's up, man?
Living the dream.
That's code for not good?
Yeah, pretty much.
How it is?
Pretty much.
What I've learned?
Yeah, that's pretty much what the code word is.
Well, how do we make that better?
Lots
Maybe
of
play some paintball?
That'd be good. I'd appreciate that.
There's 2 fields open in North Carolina right now, Paintball Central and Boss Paintball.
Yeah, Hudson
you go to either one of those places.
Hudson was telling me that he says Boss is opening. He wants to go out and coach them this weekend. But I told him,
they got a letter back from the state that said as long as they follow the guidelines of social distancing, they can be open.
So if you get closer than 6 feet away from me, I'll shoot you. That's cool.
But the good thing is for safety, there's a 20-foot surrender rule.
And we don't talk about those.
Hey, man. So always be safe.
So let's go ahead and introduce you and let everybody know who you are real fast.
I'm Matt Sossoman. I'm currently a GI rep. So I know we were going to talk a little bit about some stuff through the paintball industry today. So that would kind of tie all that in together.
Yeah, I kind of forgot to ask you last time we were on the show here. You know, it was like the first show, and I really didn't know what the hell I was doing that much. Now this is like show number 6, and I know everything now. Yeah, I'm pretty much everything you need to know about podcasts. That's me now. So
nice, you're a master.
Seasoned pro.
Yeah, you're a master. Maybe you should just come up to my house in Maryland, and we'll just do one every night.
You know what? I should commute to your house every night in Maryland. That sounds like a great plan.
You can get a Spirit flight from Baltimore or Charlotte round trip right now for $33.40.
Wow.
I was messing around with a couple of my buddies back home that do lawn care. I told them I was going to fly them up here so they can mow my lawn. It'd be cheaper than getting somebody around here to do it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, you guys in Maryland are rich.
Oh, yeah, we cannot spend money fast enough. You know what I mean? And by that, I mean tax money, because they take it all.
Yeah, but you're going to get $1,200 soon. Actually.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's big money.
Maybe.
Go out and buy guns.
Yeah. I'll probably just be responsible and put it in a savings account.
No, that's no fun. Like, I'm gonna get Ben to go there, go gun shopping with me. I told him it's going to be a date.
Just buy another paintball gun.
But
I know you're hiring a resurrection right now.
See, the only thing is, like, I don't know how long I'm going to be out for. And then, like, also, yeah, they're talking about, like, the coronavirus might actually go away in June and then come back for the fall.
I mean, I don't know. Who knows at this point, right?
So, like,
it's easy to predict things and say that, but at the same time, we don't know a lot about the virus.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's all educated guess, but a lot of those people were smarter than me.
So paintball's uncertain, but robbing people when the apocalypse comes is very certain.
No, I mean, I guess if you look tomato kind of thing.
So let's go ahead and ask a couple questions since I forgot them last time. Since I forgot them last time, and I don't want to forget them this time. So last year the JT market for Proflexes was like, hey, there's Proflexes here. I like them. I'm gonna spend a little bit of money. I'm gonna buy them. This year it's like, hey, there's a JT Proflex, and it's super rare, and I want it, but it's really a lot of money, and I don't know if I should buy it or not because I don't want to spend anywhere from like $200 to $1,500 for one part. What the hell happened?
I mean, that's all the older stuff that's going for that much money. The new goggles now aren't that much.
Well, I know
everything that we do for goggle-wise, JT. Well, not everything, but let's say like the limited edition colors that we do. They're only made in a certain amount of run, and then they're never made again. Yeah. So those colorways would, in theory, come to the way that the oldest stuff used to be. I don't know if they'll ever get it that expensive. A lot of that stuff is just supply and demand. It's the same way with take old like Sandana stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Some of those people And I've seen a headband go for $2,500.
Yep.
So it's like, more power to the people that get it for it. But I can't. If people want to spend the money on it, it's a good thing about capitalism.
Well, I saw a post today. Like somebody said they saw a pair of steel clear bottoms go for $4,000.
Oh my gosh! Like I wish I had those bottoms.
The most I've seen them go for is $1,500, but they said some dude actually paid $4,000 for bottoms. I'm like, so.
Good for that guy. Well, hopefully he got what he wanted.
So I'm like, you can actually piece together like a $6,000 or $7,000 ProFlex apparently, like really easy. Like you can do a $3,000 one real easy if you find the parts. Like it blows my mind. Like last year it was like I have a few purple IZEs, and last year you're like, okay, $50 for a whole mask. That sounds great. You know, they weren't anything special. You know, they were purple. I like purple. Like just buy them. You know, whatever, $50, whatever. That's fine. Now people are like, well, here's a pair of IZEs for $200. I'm like, what? Like, in 1 year, it went up 4 times the amount. I mean, it blows my mind.
It's a lot of, there's big trends, right? Like, so that's one thing that is good for the JT market in general.
Yeah.
That a lot of people are wanting. I'm like, right now, our limited edition colors is going to be the brown, tan, and gold.
Yeah.
And then also the purple, lime, and white. So it's kind of cool because with the same thing as before with JT, if you wanted to, you can buy 2 masks or buy 1 mask or buy 1 part or so forth from a buddy, and then you can make a goggle whatever color you want. It's very one of those cool things. You go to a big game or you go to a rec ball day or a speedball, whatever you're playing, and you can see everybody kind of has their own way of doing their JT goggles. Like some dudes like super all black, some dudes like all black with just a different colored frame or straps and so forth. So it's cool that it's coming back because for the longest time in paintball, everybody got so uniform. Like everybody's got to have the matching goggles. Everybody has matching everything, right? Where now with things coming back, you can kind of put a little bit of your own filter on it.
Yeah. Well, do you think the fact like the new JT mask came out, do you think that had something to do with the older ProFlexes being worth more? Because it seems like it kind of came out. It seems like when the new mask came out, that's when the prices kind of went up.
It might have had something to do with it, but sometimes I think it just all starts from the same thing with the Sandana headgear.
Yeah.
Is like some dude just puts out kind of a rare thing and says, I want $500 for it.
Yeah.
And then a couple other guys like, well, I kind of have something similar, so I'm going to do that too. And then, like you were talking about the IZE stuff, man, like when I started playing a long time ago, like those things were normal. So you're buying them at normal cost, and, when you're done with them, either give one to your buddy or you sell it for a low cost, or, like I'm lucky that I kept a pair of like the purple IZE frames.
Yeah.
And I have a pair of green ones in my parents' house somewhere, but it's probably in the attic at this point. I don't know. But my favorite one used to be, it was the green, not the green one, but the tan one that they did. It was like tan brown.
Yeah.
Which is funny because out of all the stuff I've seen online, you haven't seen very many of the brown/tan ones back up.
No.
Like, if I could find a pair of the tan frames right now, I'd buy them.
It's getting kind of hard to find certain things, like unless you want to cough up the money. Like right now, I'm looking for straps right now, and like I can't find anything I like for the price. Like I found one I liked, but it was like $115. I'm like, I'm not.
The crazy thing is there's as many as there is online. There's double that amount sitting in guys' basements, garages, whatever, that's in a box that hasn't been touched in 10 years. Like there was the other day, I was talking to a guy that I played 3-mans against in 2002, 2003, and he pulled out a box that had his old Intimidators, old mask, and everything like that hasn't been touched since then. Like one side of the gun was completely covered in dust, and the other side was pristine.
Damn.
Because the way it was sitting.
Yeah.
So.
I know that one guy found a whole bunch of rental pink Pro Shields. like the complete
That'd be
mask.
sweet to have.
Like, even though they say rental on, that's still money right there.
Yeah. I think it's cool when little things like that, it helps keep the community kind of spiced up a little bit, where it's like, hey, this new stuff or old stuff, right? Because you can't really interchange the old to the new, but you can, right? Because take the purple, lime, and white JT that's out right now, you could take the frame off that and put it on an all black Proflex, and from a distance, somebody that played 20 years ago thinks it's a same goggle from then. So that's a cool thing, I think.
Yeah, that's the mask I got, by the way. I think you know that. But, yeah.
And then we brought the pants back too, like the JT team pants, which I think they made the best out of an old style, right? Like they're probably don't quote me on it, right? But they're probably a quarter of the weight of what the old ones were. Like the old ones were tank of pants, right? Like they were super durable, heavy, all that. But the new ones are just as durable. They're light. Also they put a drawstring in them, where the old pants pretty much every person had to wear a belt with them, because what's the odds of getting a perfect fit size paintball pants, you know?
Yeah.
But these have a drawstring in them, and same thing as the other ones. You can get any color you want. You know, like at one point in time back in the day when Excessive had the gold ones, I saw people buying those things for $400 or $500.
Damn.
Because they were rare. And it's like now you can get the nostalgia of back then in that same color.
Because you got guys like Ben Probst, who is hoarding the pink pants. Like any size he finds, he buys, even if he can't fit them. He's got a stash of them somewhere.
Kind of like a guy named Ben Painter that's hoarding all the purple IZs.
I have 3 complete sets and 2 extra bottoms. That's not hoarding.
Yeah, that's hoarding.
That's not hoarding yet. Wait till I buy a couple more.
Hoarding.
Then we'll flood the market. I'm like, oh man, nobody can find purple. Well, I got 30 of them, so here you go.
Let some of that wealth get to other people that want them.
$700 each.
You don't need that money.
What if I want to start a team? Like, if I want to start a team of all purple mask guys, what then? I gotta have enough masks.
That's a fair argument.
See, like that, it's not gonna happen. But I mean, it's an argument.
That's a fair argument, but if it's not gonna happen, let's filter those out.
Definitely not gonna happen. I'm definitely not starting a team anytime ever, probably. So that's pretty good.
And I'm not saying I want them. I'm just saying out to the public.
Look, I like the way they look. I like the way they look sitting on my desk over there. Like, oh, look at all this nice little purple mask. I like the way they look. You know, they're not really worth that much. Like, they're not super rare, so it's not like I'm killing the market right now. So that's good.
The crazy thing is probably about 5 years ago, I sold a set of purple bottoms for $25 and thought I was getting a good deal.
I think last year I bought a purple bottoms that were attached to an E-Flex, and he put a JT strap on it, and like total payment with shipping was like $60.
Nice.
That was last year, and like it's not gonna happen this year.
No. The cool thing is I'm not going to tell the colors, but we do have 3 new colorways coming out in JT goggles, which some stores have already put pre-orders in for. So that is going to be sweet. They should be out, coming soon this year.
See, I recently ran across one that was on eBay called the Vomit Comet, and it was like nasty green and like baby puke yellow. And if it wasn't so damn much money, I'd probably snag that thing. Like that's the color scheme that you need to come out with. Something gross.
I saw that as well when you sent it to me, and as crazy as it is, I think that goggle would actually work pretty good playing woods ball.
It's gross looking, but I like it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes function over.
Yeah.
Whatever, but then that's a good thing. There's always people that like it.
Oh, yeah.
Where people say they don't like it, other people are going to like it. That's the great part of where we live. People have choices.
Well, not right now. You got to stay home, so.
Well, that's a different topic.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Like, I'm ready to this shit to be over with. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. People out here, like, I've seen so many people recently, like, they got these rubber gloves on that they're wearing while driving the car, and they get out and they go do stuff, and then get back in the car wearing the same gloves they've been wearing the whole time.
I saw a guy at Walmart 2 days ago. He was in the store with his gloves on. He touched everything. Got in his car, and luckily, somehow, I don't know how this worked out, but we were parked beside each other. He gets in his car, touches everything, touches his phone, puts his phone up to his ear, starts talking, and then takes his gloves off.
Wow.
It's like, I think you defeated the purpose there.
Wow. Well, I know like, the other day we saw a guy like he had gloves on and a bandana on and a face mask on, and the bandana and face mask were only covering his mouth. His nose was exposed. So he went out.
I mean, before all this got, I guess you say, quote unquote, bad.
Yeah.
When I went out to Vegas for the NXL, and then even the 2 weekends before it, when I went out to California for practice, it was funny seeing the people go through the airport with a mask on. I would probably say 80% of them, they had them pulled down, and they're like around their ears, and then around their chin.
Yeah.
It's like you're defeating the entire purpose.
Yep. Or like they don't wear it for a certain amount of time. They wear it for a little bit, and then they pull it off and like hang it down. Like.
Yeah.
Or like.
My favorite was the lady sitting beside me. She had the mask on, and then she got a drink from the stewardess. Took it from the stewardess that didn't have gloves on, and then pulled her mask down to touch the cup everywhere that she didn't have gloves on. It's like people are just sometimes they're sheep in things. It's like sometimes I get it, right? You need to listen to the people that are smarter than you about topics that they know about, but at the same time, have a little common sense.
It's just weird. Like people are like saw a lady today. She was at a grocery store. Had like she had like some kind of like bandana type thing on her face, and like every time she looked at some kind of groceries, she would grab the mask by the nose part or the bandana by the nose part, and she would pull it off her face, and would look
like it makes her see better.
Yeah, and then she would put it back on there. Well, you've already touched the front of that mask thing with your fingers, so now you're breathing in whatever your fingers touched. Like
it's kind of like when you're driving somewhere where you don't know exactly, and you get close and you turn the radio down, like you can concentrate or like see better.
I used to do it all the time when I was delivering pizzas. Like you're rolling into a sketchy neighborhood, like there's no lights on like any of the houses where you can't see the address. You're just like, hold on, turn the radio off.
Let me turn the radio down so I can see better.
And then like you start driving slow, and you're squinting your eyes and shit. Like yeah, it's that's all in your head, man. Like it's just funny as hell. Delivering pizzas was the greatest thing ever. You meet a lot of weird people.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Like a lot of weird ass people, like weird, like showing up to houses, like 15 cars in the parking lot, and the woman answers the door, like wearing hardly anything. Like, oh, it's one of those kind of parties. That's cool.
Hey man, it helps you learn different cultures of the around you though, so that's not a bad thing.
It was always like the richest people that wouldn't tip, and like the poorest people that would tip you well. It was strange. Like I delivered to a country club one time. Had to get out, go to the shack and talk to the guy. He told me where the lady was at. I had to go to the pool and deliver pizzas poolside to her. She had already had a check written out with no tip at all on it.
To be fair, you don't know that she didn't spend all of her money on everything, that she didn't have extra money to tip.
Well, we had
just because you have a quote unquote higher lifestyle doesn't mean that you don't spend more money.
Okay, well, the thing is, if you have a higher lifestyle and you have somebody come out and bring you food, then you probably need to go ahead and tip them. Either go ahead and get your own food.
I'm not arguing that fact. I'm just saying the perception of them being rich doesn't mean that they don't spend all the money that they make.
I went to a trailer park one time, and she tipped me in dimes that she had taped together. And then she said, "Sorry, I can't tip you. I have to work a job." And I'm like, well, what the hell am I doing right now? Like,
say we all work.
I mean, you got a car in the front yard, so you could have drove down there and like got your own stuff. But it's cool because as long as you're not helping anybody out, everything's good. And
so, question, if you don't mind answering this: how does the pay work for a pizza delivery boy? Do you get paid let's say minimum wage plus tips, or are you like a waiter that gets paid a couple bucks plus tips?
Back when I was doing it, while you were in the store doing work, like because the drivers were the guys that like they prep the pizzas for the next day, like got the dough ready and like they wash dishes and all. Those guys, if you're in the store, you were getting paid minimum wage $7.25 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you accepted the delivery, it clocked you into a different pay scale. So once you start your delivery, you were making $4.25 an hour
plus tax, and
you would get like I know it started off like you get like $1 or something like that for every delivery you went on, but then they started like using something kind of like weird calculations from that point. So you weren't really getting paid that much money for like deliveries. Like $4.25 an hour, you may have got like $1 extra to like go way out into the country to deliver the pizza. So $5.20.
So really, probably rounded out to be about the same.
Yeah, so you're about $5.25 an hour, and depending on tips, you were just making whatever. Like there were days where, I made a couple $100 in tips in a day.
Yeah.
And then there were days where I made $7 and worked a like 10-hour shift. Like $7 in tips for 10 hours.
That's tough.
It's one of those days. Like people are like working in the restaurant industry. I realize how awful people are when it comes to stuff like that. Like,
oh yeah,
we had a waitress. She'd been a waitress for years. She was nice, young, pretty, did a good job, and one night she had like bad experience with two different couples. One of them, they were just rude the whole time, and they were being mean to her and everything. Like didn't give her a tip at all. Like she had dealt with everything with them. Like they almost had her in tears, but she didn't let them see it. Didn't give her a tip. Then later on at night, this other couple comes in like, oh, she's the best waitress we've ever had. Well, she's so good. Just tell her how happy she made us, and please make sure she knows that she did a great job, and all this kind of praise. They tipped her $1.25.
Jeez.
I'm like, if you're gonna sit there and say that much good shit about somebody, and then give them $1.25, you can go suck my dick. Sorry about that. But so
I always try. Like my main goal, like the older I've gotten in life, is in whatever you're doing, try to reverse the role and put yourself in that shoes. Right?
Yeah.
Like if you're a waiter, try to put yourself, or if you're eating, think about being a waiter. Like that's one thing that I approach. Like my job being a sales rep is, how would I want to be treated if I was the field owner?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the way I kind of look at things, and I don't know. I think it helps, right? Like, because a lot of times people are so self-centered on themselves that they forget there's other people involved.
Yep. Well, we met the worst people working there. Like people try to fight you because like they try to order during like halftime of a bowl game, or like there were people that would just like, you would sit there and do your best for them, and they would just be mad about everything. Like we had one girl, she delivered pizza to this place, and a kid that was like 8 years old answered the door, gave her a $20 bill, and then slammed the door and walked back in the house. And it ended up being like a $5 tip. And the mom called up cussing me out how my driver tried to steal money from her kid, and she needed that tip money delivered back at the house right then.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, I can't do that. Sorry. I mean, this is why you don't have an 8-year-old answer the door. But then we had one driver. He came back and like he's like, I think I lost some money. I told him, I was like, oh well, at the end of the night, if the cash register's high, then I'll go ahead and cash you out. I'll go ahead and like leave the money for you next day because he was going home. And then like after he left, like a few minutes later, this lady calls up, hey, your driver, when he gave the change back, he accidentally put a $20 bill in there too. She's like, I'm going to drive it up there right now to you. She drove up to the store, and I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and give you a $200 credit because you're the nicest person I met today.
Dang, I'm trying to get a $200 credit.
Like, that was the thing about where I worked. Our training said if a customer's unhappy, you do what it takes to make them happy. So I took that to a sense of make people happy. So I made people happy with stuff like that. Like, shit.
What if I'm unhappy with this podcast? What can I get done?
You go online and you tell everybody that I'm a piece of shit, and you put reviews in there, and it's awful. And then maybe
I can't do that. Then I'd be lying.
Maybe I'll send some really fucking bad memes to you.
I'd be lying. You've done a good job. You've got some good people on. I think it's only going to get better.
I hope it does. This week's gonna get weird. You're first of 6 podcasts I gotta do by Sunday.
Yeah.
I think
you don't have to release them all at once.
No, I don't.
Space them out a little bit.
I think one of them we're gonna do. The one of the Saturday ones we're actually gonna do actually a video chat. So it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be me and a couple ugly dudes. So it'd be cool.
It's all right.
So since we're on track of the other stuff, let's go ahead and talk about the GI Paint stuff. All right.
Yeah. Well, so what's up?
So I got a question. Okay. So GI Paint. If I was a field and I was doing if I was doing a game.
Yeah.
And I ordered paint from GI, and I said, "Hey, Matt Sossoman, I would like to order paint for this game coming up in September."
Yeah.
Would I get paint that was made in September or near September, or would I get paint that was made the first of the year and sat in a damn warehouse somewhere getting dimples in it?
No, our goal is always to get the customer the freshest paint possible, right? When things come to play like that, as far as events, or let's say it's a big game, or even just your field paint alone, each sales rep they work with the fields in what we call forecasting. So, I would sit down with your field and be like, how many skids of paint do you move a year, right? Let's say easy numbers, you move 12 skids of paint a year, right?
Okay.
That'd be easy numbers. So I know that, let's say we do a run of 360 cases. So that means I need to have 360 in a warehouse in January. And, that's going to get you through March. So that way about halfway through February, I'll do another run made. And then that way it's fresh for April, May, June. And then it goes that way.
Okay.
So our goal is always to have the freshest possible, right?
Yeah.
Because also, for us, we don't want to have stuff sitting in warehouses for a long period of time because that doesn't do anybody any good.
Yeah.
Customers, business, warehouse space. So we always try to have the freshest possible.
See,
because you want we want to be happy with our product. Then we want our customer to be happy with their product. Then we want the end user to be happy with the product. And all that, to me, the end user being happy is what matters the most.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's going to change, that's going to make or break their experience at that day of playing paintball. And whether it's their beginners or, seasoned people, you get good paint. It helps your experience be better. It helps you have shoot more people or have more fun or whatever it is. It's a less stress that you have to worry about.
Yeah. Well, I know normally if I use GI paint, it actually shoots pretty well. There's been some games where it was weird to shoot GI paint, but it was because it's that weird part of the season. North Carolina gets real weird right about now. March time. It's cold one day, hot the next, cold next day, hot the next, and the weather just changes so damn much in this time of year. So yeah, it affects the paintballs. I get that totally. But there's been games where other paint places, not gonna name names or anything, but other paint places where you go to a big game where you spend a lot of money at, and you're like, hey, let me buy some of your paint for $65 or whatever. And because we're in the South, because it's cheaper, so we don't pay $100 a case here. So, but okay, so I'm paying my registration fee. I'm paying my $65 for paint, and I open the box, and all the paint's oily because they put oil in it to keep it fresh because it's going to sit in the damn warehouse for 6 months plus, and it sits on one spot forever. So you pull these balls out, and they got dimples, and they're flattened like footballs and everything. I've never experienced that with GI. I mean, I have had games where it blended paint because of the weather, but I've never actually opened a GI paint bag up and be like, oh, look at all these footballs sitting here, or look at all these dimples sitting here, and I think
that's a good thing.
I think more fields and more game producers need to pay attention to that. You know, they may be getting better deals with the other company, but that's because the other company's giving you their damn leftovers. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't either.
Necessarily right.
I don't. That's my my assumption, my hypothesis.
Yeah, I would hope to think that any of the companies are very similar, right, on wanting to have the best experience for the players, because there is games that you go to that it is still paint only, and whether it's company A, B, or C, if the paint's good, more than likely a lot of people have a better experience, right? But if it's A, B, or C, and they have the paint just shreds, or it shoots super squirrely, or whatever it is, not only does that hurt the player's experience, it hurts the game producer or the field as well, because however you want to look at it, those people are going to associate that with that field and that producer, where it's not necessarily the producer's fault, it's not necessarily the field's fault. It might not even be the paint's fault, right? Like, let's say you get paint that is brittle for some reason, but let's say it's a little colder, but you leave it outside for 6 hours because you got it first thing in the morning and you didn't, put it in a cooler where it can kind of stay a little bit warmer, or it stays out for 6 hours in 30-degree weather. That makes it tough.
Yeah. Well, and I've been to games also where like it's the winter time, and they're like, "Why does this paint suck?" Well, it's because we didn't get winter blend paint. Well, it's the winter. Why didn't you get winter blend paint? Like what's if I order paint in the winter, I should get winter blend, not something for summer blend. So why is there an issue with why my paint's busting?
Yeah, I mean, that is one thing I do like about with the GI paint. We do have different shell thicknesses.
Yeah.
We have one that's called an Advantage. It's the most brittle. Then we have a summer and winter blend, and then we also have a direct winter blend in Frostbite that can go down to very cold temperatures and still work properly.
Okay, so if I was a field owner in the north and during the winter, and I said, "Hey, it's February 17th. Well, I need paint for February 17th." You guys will send us the cold weather paint, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that would be the ideal situation.
See, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I've been to a lot of games, and like a lot of times when you tell a producer or a game or a field, like, "Oh, this paint kind of sucked," they're like, "Oh, well, it's February and they sent us summer paint, or it's June and they sent us winter paint." Like, why would they do that for? Like, I don't understand the logic behind. I don't know if they're telling me the truth, and if they are telling me the truth, why? That's my question. Is why? Like,
I don't know on that. I mean,
if I was,
let's say hypothetically, it's leftover paint, right? Which we would hope that isn't the case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or I don't. At the end of the day, I don't know why the producer or field owner would say that, right? Like,
it happens a lot. Like, it's pretty much like a go-to during the winter. It's a go-to excuse. Like, it's like, "Oh, they sent us summer paint. They sent us summer paint. Oh, that's because they sent us summer paint." Like, okay, well,
a lot of it might not even be the summer paint. It could be the way that people take care of their paint too.
Well, see, that's another thing. A lot of people don't know how to take care of their guns either. And
that's true. I mean, maintenance. That's the thing when it comes to paintball markers. You should clean your gun and your bolt and everything after every time you play. Like, you should always. I think about it like the same way as like race cars, right? Every time that they race, they do a full breakdown. Now, granted, some of them break it down after every single race. Like, I don't think you need to go clean it after every time you go out on the field.
Certain guns,
at least after every day.
Certain guns,
at the end of every day, or once you get home the next day, take your bolt out, clean it. That's what helps longevity of all the O-rings, your bolt and everything like that. Because sometimes, let's say you're playing down in Florida and it's sandy, and you get sand on your bolt. And you just keep hammering and keep shooting on it, you could get a groove in your bolt.
Yeah. Oh, you will definitely bring sand back from Florida. Right? There ain't no doubt about that. No, like when I ran a team, that's what we would do. Like the day before we went to a game, we'd all come over to the house and we clean our guns and make sure it all lubed up.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, it takes 5 minutes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, just take care of your equipment. It's the biggest thing.
And then,
last thing you want to do is be super far back up on the hills on Hamburger Hill and Fulda Gap, following somebody, and your gun goes down because you didn't clean it the past 3 times, or you didn't change the batteries, or anything like that.
Yep. That squishing, like it's a beast. Like I forgot to clean it a game or two, and like Shelly Champ, like whatever. It's just it's the squish is great. I love that thing. But I don't know, like some people also like they'll go to a scenario game and they'll get the most brittle paint and wonder why they're not shooting anybody. Well, you're in a scenario game, your brittle paint's hitting tree leaves and busting. Like,
yeah,
there's reasons why you're not shooting anybody. So like, I understand like user errors, a lot of it, but from what I hear from like some of the producers and game and field owners, they throw it on the paint they're getting. Like, oh, it's the paint's fault, because they give us their own paint. Well, if you throw a game in the winter and that paint supply company gives you summer paint, why are you ordering from that same paint place every year when there's different options out there that'll make you paint for your game?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it goes in deeper than just that game.
Oh yeah.
You have relationships, you have people, the partnerships throughout the year.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I like to do. I like to build a partnership with builds and learn more about the people, so that way you can help just in their place in general. It's like, hey, what do you need the most help on at your field?
Yeah. So,
because every field's different. Some people need more help with rental equipment. Some people need more help with marketing.
Yeah.
All the different stuff you can tailor different partnerships to
like
different people.
Some fields are like, hey, we'll have scenario games every year, a few times a year, and then one day they're like, hey, you scenario guys suck, and we're just going to do walk-ons.
Yeah, I mean that's very possible. Maybe they just like to tailor towards their market.
Yeah, I know all the fields on the East Coast. Oh, no, sorry, yeah, the coast of North Carolina. They kind of like adopted the business model of we only make money on birthday parties, so all you guys that know how to play paintball can get the hell out. So that's why all the guys on the coast are like, we don't have like one place to go to now, or we go inland to like Command Decisions or PBC or something like that. So here's another question for you.
Yep.
If I was running a game and I wanted like a label on my paint that said Ben Painter's game, you guys do that, right?
It is a possibility, but with that is there's a certain case count that you have to meet the criteria for that. So, like, I mean, it all depends on level of partnership with your field and how much paint you go through, because it's like with our machines and everything like that, we have a certain amount that it has to go through, right?
Yeah.
So if you only want 60 cases, I mean that just isn't going to work.
Oh yeah, I get that. Well, so
everything's a possibility. I'll put it to you that way.
If you were putting on one of these big tournaments or like a huge scenario game, and you were just like, you know what, hey guys, here we're doing this a year out. This is how much paint we're ordering, because we have like a lot of people show up to the game, and we're going to like meet your quota. You can actually have like every paintball on there with your game or your tournament's name on it, right?
Anything's possible.
See,
yeah,
that right there. If I was going to a game, like I've told people before, I've been to games where like you show up and you like, okay, here I am registering, and they give you like a piece of paper to hang around your neck, and then you go to games where like they actually have laminated cards that has your name on it, and like everything. It's just that little bit of extra makes you feel like they want you to come play.
Yeah,
and
like to me personally, and this is not the worker for company or anything like that. Like I like going to big games, like, and I'm talking big game, like 1,000 people, right? Like,
yeah,
not the 200. And the field color being something that you're not used to. Because the biggest thing I hate is, and it's happened in the past, you go to a big game and they're selling the paint and they're selling two different colors.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know, and then the refs get a little bit confused of like, well, does blue count? Does yellow count? Does white count? Like, what counts as a hit?
Yeah.
Because in theory, if it's not a field ball, it doesn't count.
Nope.
At big games. So like, I like going to the games where like, let's say you use a pink or a aqua or lavender or something that's different and as a field color. Like the ball itself, to me, the shell, I don't necessarily think is that big of a deal. I just think, cool color that breaks that whether it's, field paint or not.
Yeah. The only thing the shell's really good for is like if a ref goes over and checks you and like, oh, hey, I can look in your hopper and see that you're not wearing, and see that you're not shooting the right paint. That's a good thing for the shell. But then you got to bring in the first strike stuff. So then you got to have first strikes match the same feel and everything. So it gets a little difficult.
Which, depending on where you go, some places allow them, some don't.
Yeah. Like I think,
but I'm not here to argue.
I think the funnest time I've had at a game was PBC Greensboro, and we got some kind of GI paint that was green. And when you shot somebody with that green paint, it splattered everywhere. Like I have no idea what kind of paint that was, but it was GI, and like every paintball was just filled to the damn top with paint. So like we were shooting the tanks and like just covering the tanks up. Like if you got shot in the head, like the whole side of your head was just covered in paint. It actually like it made
that's what you want out of a ball.
Yeah,
right?
It made the game fun because like you got shot, there was no wiping that stuff off. Like everybody knew you got shot. Like the tanks were dripping with paint. And like you get shot in the head, and you had to leave because your whole mask would be covered in paint. It was actually real fun. Like it's the only time I've ever had paint like that. And it was some kind of GI paint. It was amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait for the big games at Paintball Central this year. They're leaps and bounds, ahead of and on top of things this year going in compared to previous years.
Oh yeah, like they're actually advertising this year.
Yeah, so they're more prepared. They've gotten the schedule out, which we'll see. I don't really know. I know they're working on potentially what to do for their big game in April.
Yeah,
it's just tough right now because it's like, yeah, you probably need to reschedule, but you don't know when to reschedule to because you don't want to have to reschedule or reschedule.
Yeah, and like right now they're saying like some places may be good to go in May, but the rest of the country, since their weather's different, they may not be good in June. So are we just going to quarantine half the country? It's gonna be weird.
Yeah, those are choices above my pay grade.
But like Gibson's going to come on the show next weekend.
He's the man.
And we're going to talk about PBC and being pretty and shit.
He's an unsung hero of paintball in North Carolina that people just don't give him enough credit for, of how much he does. He's kind of like, you take the guys that are big in the scenario world now, or you take speedball worlds, right? Like the Carolina Crisis, they're the speedball team out of Rock Hill.
Yeah.
Paintball Central. They have 2 D3 teams that play NXL, a semi-pro team, and a 5-man team. And then there's a team out of Rock Hill that just plays local called Nemesis.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's a bunch of guys on that team that they're building up the program. And then when big games, you have the Paintball Soldiers with Jason Mann, the Venom guys. I think Ryan Harris, I believe. A lot of those guys that they're breeding a lot of players. And that's a thing that, as a whole, we need.
Yeah.
That a lot of people don't realize, right? Like, everybody knows Jason Mann, right? Like, or in our area. Or I say our in North Carolina, right? When I lived there. But he doesn't get the credit he's doing, and I'll be honest, I didn't know Ryan Harris was breeding as many people as he was out of the Durham area, which is awesome, right? Like, bravo to those dudes that keep getting, and they have probably the most diverse groups of people, right? Like, where let's take like the team I play with, Voodoo Kings. We have 7, 8 dudes and one girl that we're just kind of closer friends that we don't necessarily have everybody on our team, but we have a lot of people that comes and plays, right? But where these guys are just involving everybody to it, and that's really, if we played more, that's the way we would be. But man, we're also busy, and like Austin plays NXL. I live in Maryland. I go to all the NXLs and some other stuff like that. So it's tough for us to get together to play a lot.
Tree doesn't know how phones work.
That's true. Good luck getting that guy to respond. But the guys from Paintball Soldiers and Venom that are just getting so many people to play together, it's like hats off to those guys, right?
Yep.
Like the funny thing is I met Ryan Harris at Raleigh-Durham Airport in, after one World Cup when I lived in Raleigh for a little bit, and I met him there in full circle. Like now he's just crushing it and recruiting and playing paintball.
I think his name's come up in pretty much every podcast I've done so far.
Yeah, and I don't really know the guy that well, right? Like I met him at the airport. We kind of said what's up, kind of talked a little bit, small talked, and that I kind of forgot about meeting him, and that sounds terrible, right? I mean, but how many people do you meet once, right? And then you don't realize until years down the road, like, man, I did meet that guy, and he was cool.
Yeah, it happens.
So, and he's doing great things, right? Like the more people we have like that, the better. I don't know him as a person, but I know what he's bringing to paintball, and that's a good thing.
He's intense. Like he's like, I don't know when he decided to start playing paintball, but like when he did, he was like, I'm giving 100% to it. So when you talk to him, he's all about it. Like if you talk to him about paintball,
I mean,
that's it.
I've at this point dedicated my life and career to paintball.
Yeah.
So,
but like,
I'm on the side for anybody else that's like that, as long as they're doing it the right way and not running people off.
Yeah.
The last thing we need is people quitting because they had a bad experience with an individual.
There's a lot.
I'm not saying he's doing that by any means, right?
No, he's not. Like there are people out there that are like, they're trying to get their name out there, and they're doing it the wrong way, and like you kind of stay away from those people. Hopefully they go away. But like, it's just Ryan's cool. Like everybody keeps saying, like everybody keeps telling me to bring him on the show.
I just think it's a good another perspective.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who would be another good person. I mean, I even think if you could get George from Boss Paintball,
yeah,
on the show, like that guy went from. I mean, a lot of people don't know. Like he's got one leg that he had amputated. That guy amputated his leg so he could play more paintball.
Damn.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like he played for a long, long time. Had some complications from it when he was younger. Ended up got to the point he's like, man, you want to cut it off or so however it works, or you can kind of get his like, well, can I play more if I'm more mobile if we get rid of it? Or like, yeah, he's like, all right, let's go. And then he's transitioned from he worked at Ball Paintball when Clyde Hartzell owned it into transitioning to his owning it now, and pretty successful. Like I think that's a story, kind of behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know. That'd be cool to hear.
Yeah, like I've always known him as a owner of Balls because everything else was before my time. Because I wasn't up here playing it back then. I haven't been playing that long, so I don't know a lot of old school stuff. But,
all right, we'll teach you.
I'm learning eventually. I'm learning more every time I do a podcast. Like people tell me stuff, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm also learning how to drink more, but whatever.
I mean, I just challenge everybody to try to get somebody else into paintball.
It's hard, man.
Right? It is and it isn't. Like,
well,
my friend that in middle school that got me into it to go over to his house and play in the backyard, he got me hooked on it, and I just kept playing. He fizzled out, right? But I just kept going with it.
Well, the reason.
So it's like it just went over one time. got me hooked, and man,
The reason
you
why
can't tell me.
the reason why I say it's hard to like get people into it, like TV and movies and everything, like have made paintball players look like extreme dorks and losers. Like watching Big Bang Theory, I'm gonna call that show out.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't the best.
They're like out there like these half goggles and shit, and bitching about like they're wearing body armor playing first of all, and like their whole thing's like, oh, let's go in this building and take our mask off and talk about stuff. And like,
yeah, but I mean that's TV because you pay to see people's faces, right?
But
That's why they get up.
But whenever the majority of people like, I like to say less than 1% of the population plays paintball. Well,
I don't know about that.
You gotta think.
More now.
Okay, you gotta think though. 300 million people. If you're like talking like hundreds of thousands of people playing paintball, that's still less than 1%. So
I think more people play than you think, though.
Like a few 100,000 most. 100,000 most, I'd say. There's not that many. There's not that many. But
we'll agree to disagree.
But if you look at like a sitcom or a movie, you're talking about millions and millions of people have seen that. So you're talking about the millions of people that watch that show happen. That's their impression. Like it's a game for what's the word I'm looking for? For geeks, I guess. Like that's what TV and movies put off as. Or like, you know, even in our community we do that shit. Like if somebody's like, look at my custom mask I built, there's gonna be a bunch of people shitting on it. Like, oh, that's not what I like, so it's a piece of shit.
I mean, I think that's because that's not our community. That's just social media in general.
Well, okay, so but I'm saying like you've got all that against us. Like that's why people don't want to play, you know, because they see this kind of shit. Like we had a guy, he was going to join a team back in the day, and he was cool with it until he saw all the social media shit, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good." He's like, "I don't want to be part of this."
Yeah, but he didn't have to be a part of it, right? Like I don't join every Facebook group for paintball.
I don't either.
Do all that stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like I keep it kind of like I mean, majority of all my friends on Facebook and Instagram and all that's because of paintball anyway. But
yeah,
I don't think to me. It's not hard. The hardest part is just getting somebody to commit to go.
Yeah.
And that's the same. And that's not even necessarily. I'm talking about in general, right? Like the same person that kind of blows you off, that's the same person that's going to blow you off to go to anything else.
Like,
they're just hard to get committed. I think our biggest competition in paintball now isn't other paintball fields in your area. I think our biggest competitions are places like Topgolf, places like, you know, the go-kart tracks, the putt-putt courses, movie theaters. That's who your competition is.
Yeah.
If you're a paintball field owner.
Well, movie theaters.
If you think the guy down the street or whatever is your competition, he's not.
I don't think movie theaters are going to be a big competition anymore after this thing, after coronavirus. Because now
in general, right? Like I'm talking that genre type stuff.
Because
people don't bat an eye paying $15 for a movie ticket, $10 for popcorn, $3 for a drink, and everything like that. By the time you know it, they've spent more for a 2-hour movie than they could have went and played paintball for 4 hours.
Well, see, like the thing is about the movie thing though. Nowadays, like since we're not movie theaters right now, they're releasing stuff straight to streaming for like $20.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like I'm referring to things like that, right? Like,
I got you.
Topgolf, people go pay $20 or $25 an hour to go do Topgolf. That's your competition. That's the people, or even I've tried to talk to different fields and give them ideas to try to partner with different breweries in places like that, because that's the disposable income people that would more than likely love coming into paintball.
Yeah, definitely. Like I know, back when I was on PBS, Paintball Soldiers, I had the Unknown Brewery was actually sponsoring. Well, they were going to sponsor us, and I was going to get they're going to get like 2 free cases and like a whole bunch of percentage off of like each case I bought after that. And I was pretty excited about it. But then everybody else is like, well, what's it taste like? We don't like craft beer. We want to drink PBR. And all you sons of bitches. I was like, I went out and did the legwork and got a badass brewery to sponsor us, like hook us up with some stuff, and you guys want to drink PBR. You motherfuckers.
Well, that's one of the different choices in the world.
Like PBR.
I just think, I think more fields as well, fields and stores can partner with each other as well to try to work together and feed off each other. Like, take field A, they have a big game, they give away some free entries to field B's big game.
Yeah.
And go that way, so you can play off each other. Or, you can kind of maybe do like a trifecta if there's 3 fields. If you play all 3 of them, you get a card that gets you a discount at all three parks.
I think that's what Josh Justice was trying to do. He was going to do like a series of scenario games where you did something in this field, which helped you play another field, a scenario of that field, and then the winners of that one got a little advantage at the next field. Like he was trying to do some stuff like that.
That'd be neat. And I think people like the guys that own Deadbox, Calvin and Mustard, need to try to produce games again. I thought they did with their Fallout series. I thought they did a very, very good job at it.
There was some stuff behind that. Like I was general of their last game they produced, and there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, but I think they should just do one-day games, right?
Yeah. Calvin's coming on tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, tell him I said that they should do one-day games again.
And he's with Matt who?
Yeah, right. All right. I like those guys. They're good dudes.
Yeah. But I say like their last game there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
That happens sometimes.
Like there's a reason why that field hasn't had a game in 2 years, like a real scenario game, like 2 years.
I mean, all that could change though. Right?
Well,
actually, to talk to people.
Actually, they did have that one plan come up. Like they're letting some team from up north come in and do a scenario or something this year. Like some team from New York or some shit's coming down to North Carolina to do a scenario for them, which makes absolutely no damn sense at all. When you have all these game producers in North Carolina that actually put on good games, you're gonna bring somebody out from New York to fucking put on a game.
What are you talking about?
Boss.
That's not happening.
Okay, it was.
Yeah, but it's not happening.
But that's my thing. Is like you have all these game producers in North Carolina that can put on a good game, or you have.
That's because those people approached them. Other people haven't approached them
because they were told they weren't going to be able to put games on. Like
yeah, I don't know the whole backstory on all that, but what I'm saying is like those guys approached them and talked to them, presented a good plan and idea.
Well, there's a reason why people in North Carolina haven't approached them or if they have approached them, they got shut down. But like I said,
times change, people's opinions change.
Yeah, well, like I say, like if just me in general, like I like whenever you have a North Carolina game going on, and you have a North Carolina general. You have a North Carolina game going on. You have a North Carolina producer. Like there's no sense.
But is it bad that as an outside thought, I don't think it's a bad thing to have people from another area come in.
It's not
a different perspective.
It's not for a general. Yeah, you can have an outside general come in, or you can have outside help come in. But to actually have a team or for a group from New York, which totally different market than us, totally different pricing plan than us, to come into our backyard.
But what about hypothetically is the best game you ever played?
Hypothetically, yeah, you're gonna call me that.
Like it's hard to unless you try it. It's hard to really knock it, right?
I get that, but like, what I'm saying is for 2 years there's been no scenarios besides let's go out and pick up Coke bottles. No scenarios at that field when there's a bunch of North Carolina producers around, and the first scenario you're gonna put on 2 years. You're letting somebody from up north, way away, who isn't a part of our demographic or community, put on the game. That's like if
there hasn't been a ton of big games in North Carolina in general, so I don't feel like that's a valid argument.
I get that, but what I'm saying is like if that field was putting on like 3 games a year, and one of them was like a North Carolina producer, one of them was a New York producer, one of them was wherever the hell. That's one thing, but to sit there for 2 years, not have a game, and just go ahead and get the first out there.
I think you're hung up on the North Carolina thing instead of just paintball in general.
Sometimes I am hung up on the North Carolina thing because that's the way it's supporting our community. Like I get there's a big community of paintball. There is a big community of paintball, but there's also a community of people that play paintball near you. And then there's a community of people that play paintball play the same field that you play at. And then there's a community of people that play paintball at the same field you play at, and they use the same type of gun. Then so whenever you do community stuff, you want to like here's this community, here, and the bigger it gets, like the less like connected you are to it. So yeah, maybe I am a little biased towards North Carolina thing, but that's just natural.
Because my thought process is, I love the aspect of that, right, of the North Carolina people, but I'm also been around to different areas enough to know that a lot of all the same areas, they're all the same. They're just different people, right? Like, and if everybody gets so segregated into, well, we want to just support our people and just our people and our people, man, like a perfect example is when we go to Florida Gap, we don't go to support whichever general is closest to wherever we live.
Sometimes.
I mean, I don't personally, right?
I might. I'm a little biased sometimes.
No, I don't. I go, if I have, let's say, one of my good friends, right, is the general or whatever, yes, I'll do that.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's going to be whatever side I want to play. And that point, right, like, there's part of the reason I've thrown around, like, us playing NATO this year is because the past few years we've played beside the same people so long that sometimes it's fun to play around different people.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like this year, Warsaw is gonna be a little different because a lot of the NATO guys jumped ship this year. So it's gonna be a little weird this year. Like, so you might not be playing around the same guys you were last year. It's just,
but it's what my argument.
Yeah, I get you.
What I'm trying to say.
And
because once you put a mask on and go out on the field, everybody is the same, right? Like there is no, you're either on your team or they're not on your team. Like it's not like you can get separated from your group, right, that you came with, and now you're playing beside some guy that, heck, you might know his name. You've probably never seen him before, and that might be the only time you ever get to be beside him. And you might be beside him getting a hot dog, but you don't know because he doesn't have all his paintball stuff.
A hot dog, gross. Well,
your dog loves them.
Like, hot dogs are gross. My dog loves them, but yeah. That nasty ass gas, I love them.
Yeah, I just think people need to be more open to opportunities and stuff like that, right?
Like, okay, well, my thing is, like, if you're going to a game, you're going to a game. Yeah. But if you, like, decide to, like, I'm going to hang out with these people to make it even better, that's a cool thing, too. Like,
yeah, but I can hang out off the field the same way. It doesn't matter what.
I love the rivalry part. Like, the rivalry part makes me happy. Like it just, even though there's really no point in the rivalry, it's still kind of fun. Like to talk shit to people. I love talking shit to people. I don't know why. It's just one of those things I do.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun.
I think
it's friendly.
I think it's because I was so kept so sheltered as a child that when I actually was able to like get out in the world and realize that you can talk shit to people, it was fun. So it kind of grew on me. So
yeah, I mean, as long as it's friendly, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people, they don't have as good as or flowing personalities, I guess you say. Yeah. As some other people, but friendly banter's always good.
It's just fun. Like it's always fun talking shit. Like I talk like even my friends. Like if my friends on the opposite team, I'm gonna talk shit to them.
Oh, 100%.
It's just because it's fun.
And don't let me shoot you. That's the big thing.
You can never shoot me anyway because I'm that good.
I'm never claimed to be good. That's very possible.
I'm like Teflon. Shit don't stick on me. Like I'm just like the best player out there ever, besides Mark Washington. Mark Washington take everybody out one time.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's what he told us anyway. That dude, the first time I ever hung out with that dude, he let us all know that he was going to come out to the PBC the next day and just wreck all of us like at the same time. Like, I'm going to shoot you, then I'm going to shoot. He was showing us all kinds of moves he's making. It was the greatest thing ever. Like I'll never forget that day.
Well, did he do it?
No, he didn't. But he's gotten better.
It's good.
He's gotten way better. Like
every time you play, you get better.
Mark took to the game. Like I've got to see that guy from going as the guy like that talked that little bit of shit and like we kind of wrecked him a little bit. It's like he'll take people out all day long now. Like he's improved. Like it. I like watching him play sometimes. Like no homo. Even though being homo is cool these days, no homo.
It's alright.
But
I'm a perfect guy like that too.
But he's cool. Like I like more. Like you can watch him play and like you can tell he's like taking to it.
Yeah, that's the way like Austin Caster is. He plays with Carolina Crisis D3 team. Like I watched him when he like was playing in the woods to all the way up now. He's arguably the best player on that team. And, he's a player, every point kind of guy, directs and leads to, actually try and see him do better every time. It's sweet to see that. Like, the same thing you're talking about with him is like how a person goes from, every time they go out, they kind of like they're super green and then they just soak it all in. And next thing you know, they're winning things and a successful person. That's good.
Austin is definitely not the prettiest person on the team, though. There's one person on the team that's so pretty. Like, I'm not talking about the girl either.
You're not talking about Lizzie, his girlfriend?
No, talking about that Travis Ure guy, or however the hell he says his last name.
I was a little worried at my wedding when Travis was a groomsman that he was going to steal the show on me. But
you were afraid that like
lucky for him that he forgot to get a haircut. I was the best looking dude there.
You were afraid that your wife was like wait till that point where like if there's anybody that objects to this wedding, she's like I object, and they started going towards him.
If he'd had a haircut, I'd have been in tough shape.
Yeah, let's think he would be living in Maryland right now, and you'd still be here. So damn you, Travis, you should have got a haircut.
I know. We'll have to tell him to listen to us.
This motherfucker.
I'm sure he already does anyway.
So he would look good in Maryland. Like he'd be a good Maryland dude up there, like shotgun PBRs.
He doesn't even like sweet tea, so he's a way more like they kind of rock me hard about being a Yankee and all that.
Look at it.
He doesn't even like sweet tea.
Look at that shit. If he would just got a haircut, his life would be different right now. Your life would be different right now.
I know.
Awful shit right now.
Who knows where I'd be? I'd probably still be in Nebraska working with penguins.
No, you'd be here. You'd be hanging out in North Carolina, hanging out.
That's possible too.
So you'd be like,
I don't know. Things change, right? Like sometimes you're in Maryland. Next thing you know, you move to Virginia or Florida, or then you don't know what's next. You just kind of got to be open to things.
Yeah, my dog's photobombing right now. He's walking by. He saw the cat earlier. He's all happy. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like, Photocast's fun. I can't wait to play again. I had so much fun playing with you guys last year.
Yeah, maybe this year you'll. Actually, I don't know. You're playing with your team, right? So you won't be. You're not going to run with us.
I do what I want.
That's fair.
Like last year was great. Like, you clean out Duckett, and like, what are we going to do now? Let's shoot each other. That was one of the funnest times I had.
You can't take things too serious.
No.
Something I've learned.
Or like, my favorite one was like we sent I can't remember his name. We sent that blonde kid up the front to like go scout in front of us, and then you shot him, and he shot back like, oh, it must be an enemy. Let's tear him up. So we all shot him.
This is all allegedly.
Allegedly, we all shot him. That was one of my favorite times. Like, I was like, yep, you should have shot back at us because now you're allegedly an enemy that I allegedly shoot at.
A lot of people been out of shape, but we got a pretty good group of people that we all understand that it is what it is. It can happen to anybody at any time, and you just go about it.
I mean, you did shoot me in the ear pretty close though, so that kind of upset me a little bit.
I did not shoot you in the air.
What's up, dog?
So.
Yeah. But yeah, man,
Cool.
I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to let you get back to your Thursday night.
Absolutely, sir. I appreciate it.
Since you're a busy man.
Maybe we'll try to reconvene after the next event, Maybe we can sit down and do a live podcast at the TBC game.
Ooh, so that means you might be coming down. That's cool.
It's always possible. You never know. I'm a little traveling butterfly. I end up everywhere.
Well, Fidel said he will DJ for a live show.
Right.
So I mean, that means I got to get everything. So that means we'll have to get everything set up right for that kind of stuff. But
you got a lot of other good people coming on, so we'll reconvene at some point.
There's a lot coming on this week, and like next week I'm already trying to get some people filled up. But yeah, this week's gonna be fun. Like there's some interesting people coming on this weekend, so that's great.
Good deal.
But
Big thing, everybody, like it, share it, and subscribe.
Thank you.
That's how we're gonna get better. Right.
And everybody, bug your field to start using GI paint.
He said it, not me. I'm out of here. Later.
All right, man. Peace out, man. Appreciate you guys watching.